Hey, welcome back. In today's video, we're diving into something that's got the entire MotoGP community talking this week. Alex Marquez, the Gresini Ducati rider who's been absolutely flying in the 2026 season, has been forced to sit out the next two races following a truly horrifying crash at Catalunya. We're going to break down exactly how it all unfolded, how serious his injuries are, who else got caught up in the chaos, and most importantly, what this all means for the Gresini team and the championship battle going forward. Right then, let's get into it. For those of you who aren't completely up to speed on MotoGP, Alex Marquez is far from just another name on the grid. He's the younger brother of Marc Marquez, the 8-time world champion and living legend of the sport. But don't make the mistake of writing him off as simply Marc's little brother. Alex has 4 MotoGP race victories to his name. And in the 2026 season, he's established himself as the clear number 1 at Gresini Racing. At Gresini, Alex lines up alongside Fermin Aldeguer. And if you've been keeping an eye on the standings this season, Alex has been considerably more consistent than his teammate. He is, without question, the backbone of that team, which is precisely why his absence is such a massive blow. Right, this is the part that had everyone holding their breath. Let's rewind to last weekend's race at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. Pedro Acosta was leading the race at the time when his KTM suddenly suffered a technical problem on the back straight. His bike slowed dramatically right in the middle of one of the fastest sections of the circuit. Alex Marquez, who was following Acosta closely at the time, was left with absolutely no time to react. The combination of tight following distance and enormous straight-line speed meant Alex plowed straight into the back of Acosta's KTM. A violent collision was completely unavoidable. What made it even more frightening was what happened next. Alex was still in the saddle momentarily after the impact, but he was then launched from his motorcycle when it flipped into the air. He was seen sliding along the grass at the side of the track, while his Ducati came back onto the circuit with debris flying in all directions. Picture it for a moment. A motorcycle somersaulting through the air, a rider skidding across the grass, shrapnel scattering across the tarmac. This was not your average tumble. This was the kind of accident that makes your stomach drop when you're watching from the stands or at home on the sofa. And it didn't end there either. Some of that debris struck Fabio Di Giannantonio, including a tire, which caused the Italian rider to fall as well. So one incident took out 2 riders in one go. Absolutely dramatic scenes. After a crash as violent as that, everyone's attention immediately turned to Alex's condition. And the news, frankly, was quite serious. Alex Marquez sustained multiple fractures as a result of the collision. He underwent surgery on Sunday evening and was released from hospital on Monday, going under the knife on the very same day as the race tells you everything you need to know about the severity of what happened. The silver lining, if there is one, is that he was discharged the following morning, which at least suggests his condition was stable. But make no mistake, a recovery like this takes time, and it cannot be rushed. Gresini Racing officially confirmed that Alex Marquez will not be taking part in the next 2 rounds, the Italian Grand Prix and the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, these aren't just any 2 races he's sitting out. The Italian Grand Prix takes place at Mugello from the 29th to the 31st of May, before the series moves on to the Balaton Park circuit in Hungary from the 5th to the 7th of June. Mugello is, for many people, the crown jewel of the MotoGP calendar. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. The circuit is breathtaking, and it's traditionally one of the most fiercely contested weekends of the year. Missing Mugello hurts. Full stop. And then there's Hungary at Balaton Park, a relatively new addition to the calendar, but already an important battleground for championship points. So between these 2 rounds, Alex is looking at a significant chunk of points that simply won't be there for him. His rivals will be rubbing their hands. Losing Alex isn't a minor inconvenience for Gresini. It's a proper headache. As mentioned earlier, Alex has been Gresini's standout performer this season, outpacing teammate Fermin Aldeguer by some margin throughout 2026. The team now faces a difficult decision. Do they press on with Aldeguer flying solo, or do they bring in a temporary replacement? There's been no official word yet on whether Gresini will bring in cover for Alex, though Michele Pirro, Ducati's official test rider, is considered the most likely candidate should the team choose to fill the seat. Pirro is no stranger to this situation. He's been Ducati's trusted test rider for years and has made several wildcard appearances throughout his career. If he does step in, at least Gresini won't be throwing someone unfamiliar with the machinery into the deep end. But regardless of who fills the seat, the disruption to Alex's championship momentum and the team's overall campaign is undeniable. It's the kind of setback that every motorsport outfit dreads. There's another angle to this story that's worth addressing. After a crash of that magnitude, the race at Catalunya was restarted. And that decision has not gone down well with a number of people in the paddock. Several riders openly criticized those in charge for pressing ahead. When you've got motorcycles flying through the air, tires bouncing across the track, and 2 riders taken out in one incident, many felt that restarting the race was simply the wrong call. The debate around safety protocols in MotoGP has flared up once again, and it's a conversation the sport genuinely needs to have. The riders putting their lives on the line every weekend deserve to have their voices heard on matters like this. Now, for the big question everyone's asking. When does Alex come back? Officially, it remains unclear whether Alex will return after those 2 races, or whether the team will end up confirming a longer absence. Everything hinges on how the recovery from surgery goes. Fractures are not something you push through, especially when you're about to get back on a machine capable of exceeding 350 kilometers per hour. Rushing a comeback at that level doesn't just risk poor performance, it risks something far worse. The whole MotoGP community will be pulling for Alex to get back to full fitness as quickly as possible. He's one of the most watchable riders on the grid. His racecraft is tidy, he's aggressive when it counts, and he's proven he can win. The grid feels a little less sharp without him on it. So there you have it. Everything you need to know about Alex Marquez's horror crash in Catalunya and the fallout heading into the next 2 rounds. A violent accident, serious injuries, emergency surgery, and 2 major races to miss. Let's all hope Alex makes a full and speedy recovery and gets back on that Ducati firing on all cylinders. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. Was MotoGP right to restart the race after a crash that serious? And if Gresini do bring in a replacement, would you go with Michele Pirro? Or is there someone else you reckon could slot in and do a job? If you found this video useful, give it a like and share it with your fellow MotoGP fans. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is absolutely the time, because we cover all the latest MotoGP news in a way that's honest, straightforward, and always worth your time. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and keep the rubber side down.